Josh Johnson Show. I'm Josh Johnson, joined by my co-host, fellow stand-up comedian Logan Nielsen. Logan, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing okay, man. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm a little bitter at the moment.
Why?
I had some
It's
shows.
our 100th episode, and you're going to be bitter about it?
Not about it. I'm very happy about it. I was at some shows at Foxwoods Casino. It's in Connecticut, and
Okay.
at the casino, they have a lot of amenities. They have a lot of things for a non-gambler like me to do, right? So there was an arcade. The arcade was pretty good. It was like there's two arcades, and they only tell you about one of them, and the other one is way better. That I was almost more upset about that. They tell you about the first arcade, which is like got bubble hockey in it, which was amazing. So
Bubble hockey's great.
even though I lost pretty badly, it was still very fun to play. You know, there's just so much hope when you play bubble hockey. Because even if you have no skill, you're like, wow, I almost hit the goal just then from like twisting my wrist. Anyway, so then they had the Tekken Tag, which was amazing. But they also had go-karts, and they had the serious go-karts for kids that are going to try to be Formula One racers one day. So the go-karts were not only fast, but they were like professionally done.
These were professional go-karters is what this is.
Okay, so you joke about, God damn it. What is this?
For those of you listening.
Fucking fuck. It makes me so mad, and it's just as we're recording too.
Yeah,
it's
he's
not.
got a
it
fly
doesn't.
in his face. For if you're just listening to the pod, and when I say just listening, we're hoping that this will be our a full video episode. We've got new cameras, but right now Josh is chasing a fly.
Whatever,
and is very angry about it.
Okay,
we told you nothing would change. We told you. We may be 100 episodes in. It's not a goddamn thing changing.
So what ends up happening is we get there and Vince and I go racing, right? And it's too serious when we walk in. When we walk in, it's like there's an energy in there that's like dad. You know that like sports dad, like coach dad, like almost stage dad, but for sports.
Yeah, too
energy.
intense. Too intense. Kind
so
of.
It's too intense when we walk in. So immediately
at go-karts?
At go-karts. But to be fair, these go-karts were dope.
Still though, what are you gonna turn harder? Like, what are you gonna say?
You're gonna say turn harder. All right.
Rubbing is racing, Daniel. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. And so we get there. Not only do they have suits that you can wear, you can just get one of the suits that's made for like a driver.
You mean like a jumpsuit, not a 3-piece.
No, not a 3-piece, but the jumpsuit is like legit.
Because that would be great if they had formal go-kart.
Formal go-kart racing, yeah.
Please put on your racing tuxedos.
So basically, we go in there. And
was that an extra charge to get the uniform?
I don't think
was
so.
That an option?
No, I think they were just letting you have it if you wanted. If you knew what your fit was, they were just letting you put it on. But the helmets were legit. The helmets, I was like, are we in trouble?
Is my head in that much danger?
I've never worn a helmet like that. The helmet made it so that my actual face was in place. Like, it wasn't just a helmet. It was like a helmet that like fitted with foam pushing into your cheeks, and like it just kept everything perfectly placed. So they have a head sock for you to put on too. So you put on a head sock, which at first I thought was a sanitary thing, and apparently that's also what racers do. And
racers wear I think that's a lot for, safety, and also I think potentially if like fires. I think if you crash,
I guess if there's a fire, but it was actually too safe that I got nervous, because I was like, why is there a flame retardant suit, a helmet that looks like it could take a bullet, and then just me with a head sock on? Like, is this bad?
Because that'd be like if they were doing that before like an amusement park ride, you'd be like, we shouldn't get on this.
Yeah,
they're giving us too much gear. This means you will die on this. And
so we did 2 heats, and in the first heat, you have to remember, this is me remembering how to drive, because I haven't driven since the last time I drove go-karts, which was 4 years ago.
That's a great point. I kind of forgot your inability to drive.
Yeah, so already I was that's the other thing that made me nervous. I was like, are these fast enough that I could like hurt myself or someone else? Because the last time I went go-karting, you were punching it and this little thing was like barely getting any steam.
Right.
And I watched a heat before we ran and I couldn't believe how fast they were. It was like cars. It was like straight cars.
He means the Pixar movie.
Yeah, the cars are talking. So then
he felt like a car. He felt like a cartoon car.
I get in my car, and also the way that they managed it was a little frantic because then they were getting annoyed at us, like for not having been there a million times or something. Because I guess they're just used to the kids that come every weekend. Because there was even we were knocked back 45 minutes because they couldn't get a bunch of cars going, and the dads were so mad. It was wild. It was like I thought there was going to be a fight because the dads were so mad, and one of the dads was like, "My son races for some like because you know how F2 is for like the kids, right?
Right, yeah.
So F1 they're still very young. They're still essentially kids. They're like 21, 22, whatever. But F2 is when they could be like I don't know 17 or something.
Right.
And so this one guy is like, my son is like a prospect for. I can't remember what team he said, but it was like legit. Like I was actually getting, I was actually getting nervous. It's like,
now you're like, shit, am I interrupting practice?
Yeah. I was like,
am I ruining someone's career right now by just wanting to have some fun?
100%. Because then we start and before we start, one of the dads is like, oh yeah, my son is a mechanic. I guess he's like a junior mechanic for something. And then he's on the team for something else. And they were complaining because they were like, oh, it never runs like this. You know, it's always more professional. And in my head, I'm like, wait, is this supposed to be professional? Like, are we in the way right now?
What's happening?
Then it's finally our turn to race. And Vince and I go up and the guy's just like staring at us. And he's like, grab a head sock. Like it felt like I was on a racing team that I didn't know about because the guy was like, he had no sense of humor and he was no help at all. Like he was like, do you know what your number is? Do you know what the number? Look at your screen. Do you know what your number is? And then I was like, yeah.
You accidentally got drafted into a team, my dude.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, I'm car 19. And he was like, all right, well, go to your car. Your race is starting soon. Go to your car. And I was like, oh my God. And so I'm just like, running over to the car. I get in and like nothing on the car feels right. I didn't even know that they had like not like specs, but they had so many adjustments you could do in the car. And so I just get in and I'm all uncomfortable. And then the guy walking up, I'm like, I've put my seatbelt on, which is like the real strapped in seatbelt, by the way. This isn't just like over the waist. It's like chest, vest across, like zip, like fully pulling your straps in. And then the guy walks up and I was like, he hits the start for my car, but then he's about to walk away. I'm like, hey, is my seatbelt all right? And he's like, yeah, you're fine. And I'm like, is there any way that I could change the pedals? Because it's real close. Like, clearly whoever was in here last was child. Like, is there anything that I could do? And then he pulled it back for me, and then it fit a little bit better. And we take off, and I was both very proud and surprised at myself how well I was controlling it from the start, but I couldn't have been more terrified about how fast it was going. Like, it was... It was so fast, and then I'm making the corners too, and I'm like, wow, I'm driving. Like I got excited, like I was on the actual highway. I was like, wow, I'm driving. This is amazing.
I'm finally a grown up.
Yeah, this is amazing.
I'm a real boy.
And then I'm in my head. I start like competing, right? So in my head, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try to pass them, and I'm like getting around. And then I passed two people, and one of them was clearly not happy about it. Like I just found
this is his job, and you're making a harder day at his job for him.
I found some space in the turn, and I took it, and I was very happy. I was like, wow, I passed someone go-karting. I don't even drive. Yeah. And and so then maybe like 4 laps later, this guy just perfectly nicks me on the back right wheel and sends me into the wall. And
Damn.
and so there's a reverse
Rubbing
button.
is racing. I told you.
And so I hit the reverse, but then you're supposed to only reverse when it's clear so that you can then turn and everything. And so I keep hitting the reverse, but then cars keep coming. So then I just keep slamming myself back into the wall to avoid the people that are about to hit me. And so I'm just, for maybe like 8 minutes, I'm just slamming myself into the wall. Like, not 8 minutes, because I'm sure the race was only like 6 minutes. But like,
If it was 8 minutes.
but I mean, not 8 minutes. I meant 8 times. Sorry, but like for at least 2 laps, 2 what should have been laps for me was me like slamming myself back into the wall over and over because I was like, they're gonna hit me. Like I'm getting in the way, you know. And so finally, I reverse, I pull out, and then I race the rest. And luckily, we did 2 heats because then in my second heat, I was like, man. Okay, outside of that guy like bumping me, I think I have it. Like I think I know how to drive now, and so
I'm gonna go get my license after this. I've done it.
And so then we get in the second batch of cars, and now I feel like a pro because now I'm like, all right, rude guy, I know exactly what car to go to. I'm just gonna walk past you. I mean, whatever, and sit down. We take off again. This time, I still, only because of the race I just had, I actually think I had like a bad car with like fully.
Oh, it's the car's fault.
No.
It's the car's fault. Definitely.
I just did a race where I
Definitely
knew
not
less.
the man who doesn't know how to drive. He already said that, but it's definitely the car.
I'm telling you, man, I just did a race where I knew less. I knew less about the car. I knew less about the turns. Like everything I did the first time, I was doing for the first time. So with this one, knowing where the turns are, knowing the rhythm of when I should turn and everything, I was like, yo, this car is bad. And once you start the race, you can't just stand up. But almost immediately after I take off and I go through the first turn, I'm like, I'm in a bad car. Like, this is horrible. I had no grip at all. So then every turn with any speed, I was just drifting. I was straight up. It would have been cool if I had been doing it on purpose. I was turning. When I tell you that I was turning, and like Jason Bourne in the rain was sliding the entire length of the turn, and then I would just hit the gas again to go straight. So for a little while, I thought I could manage it, and then twice I slammed myself into the wall so hard. And then the second heat we did was with the pro guys. So that's the heat. Like the first one we did was with a lot of like families and kids, and you know what I mean, like people that were just trying to have fun. The second one was with the guys who showed up with their own suit.
Oh, okay.
And so then at one point I'm driving and I look around and just 3 of them are boxing me in. I'm like, what's happening right now?
It's like, I get it, especially if they're, pro racers or whatever, but like, fucking calm down.
It was wild.
Don't show up with your own suit and then want to show people up at a go-kart track. That's like showing up with a bag of clubs to putt-putt.
I mean, it's like dunking on a kid. It's like dunking on a little kid.
Exactly. It's like having a caddy carry your putter for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you're over the side, it's like, what do you think? There's a windmill in the way. What do you think I should do?
Hey,
calm down, kids. Calm down.
No,
I get you're taking it seriously.
It was horrible.
Don't pick on my friend in his 30s.
No, that second car was bad, man. I'm telling you, because the second car, I was like, I would do the thing that you're supposed to do. I'd hit a little bit of brake and I'd start to turn. And I'm still just sliding like I'm on top of water. and then
Just doing
slam into
slow-
a wall.
Slow and confused 3 Connecticut drifting. That's what you.
Yeah, man.
I've done that before. I've done the kind of more souped up go-karts, and then I've done the mini drag races. It was at a place in Texas. I was in 7th grade, so I don't remember exactly where it was or what it was, but they had mini drag race cars. And that's all it was. You got in it and they gave you the countdown. And even as small drag race cars that were on a track, they had some giddy up and go.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a point where on the course you go up a little bit and that up is some turns, but then there's a straight where you go down, and the straight where you go down makes the car shake so much that I thought the car was coming apart. I thought it was like a Looney Tune. And so anyway, there was one kid there that is the future. There was a little kid there where I was like, hey, my man, I need to get his autograph, maybe.
You're my go-kart hero.
That kid was so fast. He clocked he clocked a lap that, just to give you an indication, the second fastest lap was 12 seconds longer.
Damn.
So he essentially went 1.5 times faster than the second fastest person.
Did he bring his own cart too, or
No. He
he just knows which one's the
yeah,
good
he
one?
just knows what he's doing. He's a future world champion.
That's interesting.
I didn't mean to talk about any of this. It was just on my mind when you asked me.
I did not ask you, but okay.
No, when you were like, why are you
How are
salty?
you?
Why are you bitter? Why are you upset?
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that I was just confused about, because I'm like, we've been preparing the last few weeks for the celebration of the 100th episode, and we did the mailbag and stuff, and you're just like, I don't know, things are bad. I got beat by some kids in go-kart.
Everybody got their own struggle. I don't know why. When I voice mine, it's like an issue.
It wasn't an issue. I was just surprised that you were in such a sour mood, and then the reasoning made it even better.
So,
How are the gigs though? How are the shows?
the shows were great. Crowds were great. It was a very fun time. I I'm trying to figure out how to even describe it. So I've been saving 2 things for this episode for quite a while.
Oh, okay.
And I just wanted to check in with you. Is there anything that's on your mind that that you want to chat about or anything?
Not in particular. No, I don't think so. I don't think, I'm in this stretch right now of where I haven't really done anything for the last couple weeks. So, so that will change next month. I'm about to be very busy and on the road next month, but I haven't done a lot. I had some friends come out and see me from Chicago, which was good.
Dope.
And I maybe got a little too after it and had to vomit so much into a sink.
Okay. All right.
Just maybe that happened, and it's been a long time since I've thrown up, and that may have been the most ever.
Exactly what we needed. That right there, you've
That right
done
there?
it.
You need
Yeah,
that?
this is the perfect tee up. Thank you for doing that.
Whoa! Okay, I didn't mean to tee him up, but here we go.
Okay, so it's a couple of things, but one thing is a thing I don't think I've ever told you about, where I went to this after party for a comedy festival. I won't say which one in case it comes back. I'd very much like to be invited back, but I went to this comedy festival's after party.
I'm about to talk some shit about it.
No, it's not. It actually wasn't the fault of the festival. It was the fault of the bar.
Gotcha. Okay.
So basically, the after party for this festival. This is also should point out, this is before COVID, and
Oh, okay.
so there was an open bar for the after party of the festival, because now this is like the last show. last everything, going out with a big hoorah, everybody open bar, right? And one of the things that the bar that they rented out for this event, I guess threw in, because I heard this later, was like, I think 100 or 80 bottles of red wine. And so it's like a lot of red wine that they're throwing in for free on top of the tab to make the bar open, you know? Okay. Which at the time, I think I got it. Fuck yes. Which at the time,
it's just good for a podcast when you're in the middle of a sentence to blow aggressively onto your mic.
We can edit it out.
You make it hard when you do it in between, in the middle of a thought.
You want to reslate? We can reslate.
No, I'm not going to reslate. That would be starting the whole podcast over. Reslating does nothing. We also are doing the cameras now too. So if I cut it to where you go, then it just cuts.
Yeah, but if we reslate, then won't you have a place?
Reslating? No, that's not what reslating does.
Oh, okay. So basically,
the slate is to sync everything. It has nothing to do with the edit.
All right, if you say so. So
I'm the fucking editor.
The thing that ends up happening is that they get all of these red wine bottles, which I'm assuming are the same brand, same everything. I don't know because I don't drink, and I didn't drink that night. But
you thought they were all red brand wine?
Just red. You know what I mean? You know that red? You know the red wine that just says red on it? That's apparently the staple wine is red. Don't act like you ain't had none of that red.
I've got 80 bottles of Red's red wine.
Yeah, Red's red wine.
What kind of wine? Just red.
Just red.
Yeah, but there's different types. Don't worry about it.
Crazy enough, tastes like a junkyard.
And some of them are clearly white wines too, but they say red.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, that might be some white wine with a little blood in it. So they get all of this free red wine on top of the bar tab, right? Mm-hmm. So for the most part, people are just like pushing the red wine. Like the bartenders are, and they're letting everyone know. It's like, hey, let's let people know about the red wine first, because then that might do a little something for us on the back end with the whole open bar thing. And
smart move.
Basically, I get to the after party pretty early. I'm not like a cool guy who's late, and so I get to the after
there an
party.
hour before they opened.
100%. I helped set up just some of the chairs. So I'm there.
I wasn't fashionably late. I fashionably work there now.
Guy just handed me a glass and I just ran with it, you know. So I get there on time-ish for when it starts. So other people don't start showing up for at least like 40 minutes or whatever. And I think there was, to be fair, a show that was happening at the same time that the party started. So it's not as if everyone's fashionably late. It's literally that they came right there from the last show of the festival.
Right.
And sure enough, maybe 2 hours in. So I got there on time, first hour. Other people started getting there. Then an hour after that, when I tell you everybody, like not every single person, but just about everybody that I saw with red wine starts throwing up. Like starts like really gets like really sick almost immediately. And once
like
again,
early in the night, like once they're just having drinks?
Early in the night. So this is early in the night. And it's clearly not their fault because it's people who aren't that drunk, right? And so people just start running to the bathroom.
Whatever this is,
or
it's
people,
poison.
So the 100 bottles are clearly just like spoiled wine. It's clearly just like wine that's turned, or maybe was about to turn, and then they were like throwing it in. But
I don't know how wine turns like that, because people age wine for decades.
I think if you leave wine open, that's like not aging it anymore. That's like making it go bad. I feel like however you store it.
To do that with 100 bottles though.
Man, I don't know what to tell you. People just started throwing up red, and I thought it was the end of the world. When I tell you that I thought this was it, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I prayed a little bit. Like, dude, I'm at this party, and all I know is people next to me, people in the bathroom start throwing up full red. Because, mind you, I told you that to like color the context of the thing. I didn't know any of that while I was at the party. I just know people were throwing up red, which to me looks like blood.
So you, so, yeah, you didn't know that.
So I thought, God damn it. So I thought everybody was dying.
Right.
I thought everybody that was throwing up red was like, all right, we're here. This is the zombie movie we've been prepping for. And yeah, and then eventually a bunch of people realized that they all got sick, that they only drank the red wine. They were like, stop drinking the red wine. But apparently it's like maybe it's how they stored it. I don't know. Because I also don't know that much about wine, but I know that a lot of people threw up.
I don't know enough either. It could it could have had, you know, they can get laced with salmonella or whatever too if they're bottled improperly or whatever. So I don't know. They could have just been drinking poison.
They could have. Like, I don't know. Does salmonella act that fast? Because that means that basically within an hour they must have been knocking them back. Because then within an hour they were throwing up.
Well, yeah, I don't know. This is a mystery. If you know anything about wine and how it can have this effect, email in joshjohnsonshow@gmail.com. Let us know.
Yeah, but it was pretty terrible. And
sounds awful.
Yeah, and
I
you
threw
just
up a lot of
reminded me of it with your.
Well, and I was going to say, when I threw up a lot, I threw up a lot of red actually, and I was concerned because it came out and it was looking like I'm like I didn't eat anything with tomatoes in it. It seemed like almost like. Because I was seeing like these chunks of it, and it was all very red, and I'm like, "What is this?" I forgot I'd ate a bunch of watermelon, so it had turned everything in my stomach red, and the chunks I was seeing that I thought were like smashed tomato parts were just watermelon that I was regurgitating.
Okay.
And it took me a sec to put that. I only put it together because a friend of mine said he's like, the kitchen smelled very watermelon-y as you were vomiting. And I was like, that makes sense, because I was concerned. But I was mainly just trying to aim.
I feel you. I forgot I had a bunch of watermelon.
I did forget that I ate a bunch of watermelon that day.
Okay.
It was a fun grill out day. Had a bunch of watermelon.
So it also then, not a tight segue, but a slight segue, leads me to one of the stories I've been saving for a long time, because it just, to me, is such chaotic energy. It's like as comics, we have to do that thing that people call like reading a room, you know, whether it's for comedy or for context of, you know, what's happening or something. And it's so funny
deciding
because
if anyone after a show wants to kick your ass.
Yeah. Yeah. How quickly you should leave. And
yeah.
It's amazing
all things you gotta read.
To me that because it's a skill that we've had to build over years, there's just a different energy to it than in other cases. What's the best way to put this? It's like when something becomes second nature to you almost, because you have to do it so often that you forget that the rest of the world isn't building that skill. There was a wedding in Louisiana years ago where these two fine people were they're fine. They're
never has the word fine had more judgment in it.
They're
these two fine people.
Yeah, they're They're a lot. Anyway, they
Are these friends of yours or
loosely, yeah. We don't talk that much anymore, but it's
because of what happened in this story, or
no, but no. The story you'll see why. Anyway, so
all right.
They decided to have family cater the wedding because they didn't just, it wasn't just a money saving thing. It was like we've always wanted to have this dish at our wedding type thing, and only grandma can cook it, whatever, right?
It's also totally a money saving thing.
Yeah,
for sure.
And so
why buy food if you can force your grandma to cook for you?
And so the thing that essentially did them in a sense is that one of the matriarchs of the family that they wanted to cook something special was in the hospital for a little while, and that little while crossed over during the wedding. So then they couldn't do the whole prep, and they were just too sick to do it. Mm-hmm. And so what comes with that is a family member stepping in and being like, just give me the recipe and I'll do it, right? Now, this is essentially one of the things that's being cooked is a pot pie, and it is enough pot pie for like 80 people. So there's like 80 guests at this wedding, and the wedding's...
That's a big pie.
It's a big set of pies. It's a big pie. It's all huge. And...
It'd be great if they tried to do it in one pie. Just one giant comical buffet pie.
Yeah. And so basically
I had to feed everyone, I had to increase the recipe 80 times.
I'd increase the recipe 80 times, and also the pan is grandma's bed frame. So
yeah. I was gonna say we had to cook it in a small pool.
Yeah. So the pool is ruined. All right.
Wrecked.
So
wrecked.
As you enjoy
Absolutely.
this, just know you'll never swim in this thing again.
Yeah. Also, I lost my watch, so it may be in there.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure.
And so all you need to know is that the family member that steps in is not the one that you call off the bench. All right, this is someone who could really mess up a PB&J. So like, this is not the type of person.
Aunt Caroline doesn't have taste buds.
Aunt Caroline burned her tongue at 82 and never been the same since. And so what ends up happening is this family member steps in, makes the pot pie, and so what's on the plate for the dinner, for the reception, is the pot pie, and the pot pie is essentially like the main, right?
Right.
So it's like almost like beef stew type pot pie with a lot of roast in it, potatoes, peas, carrots,
Right, yeah.
all the stuff, right? Like a nice thick gravy that binds it, holds it all together, and a crispy.
That was my nickname in high school too, by the way.
What did I just
thick-
say? That
Nice thick gravy. Don't worry about it.
So anyway, they're cooking the whole thing, and then they serve, and pot pies on the plate. And then there's also a side of bread, which I just personally found hilarious, because if you get enough pot pie crust, that's just a lot of bread now. And then it was like some spinach, and I can't remember what it was, but it was like everyone got like a little brownie or something that another cousin made or something like that.
Yeah.
And so they're all eating, and they're doing the speeches, while they're eating, right? So dad gives a speech, mom gives a speech, mom and, in-laws give speeches, like everybody, right? And and then they get the DJ to play that first song, they do the dances you're supposed to do, the dad-daughter dance, the first couple dance, all that stuff like that, right? And then they open up the dance floor to everybody. I don't know. I don't actually know what was wrong. All I know is maybe an hour into dancing, maybe it's the gyrating, maybe it's just the heaviness of the pie, but apparently this thing was cooked wrong and now nobody feels good. Like everybody is sick. Like everybody is sick off this pie. I can only imagine what it's like. That must be what hell is like, to have to dance after eating some thick gravy pie. So now you're just in your own world trying to like groove to it, but you're like, ugh, 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 ugh. And so everybody, they like, I don't even remember.
Cha-cha, real smooth. Oh no. Oh no.
I don't even remember I think it was a Cupid Shuffle where people started to throw up. Like
Jesus Christ.
Like and apparently, because I wasn't at the wedding, and also even if I was invited, you know, and so
what does that mean?
I don't know. I wouldn't have gone. But anyway,
why you hate these people?
It's not hate. It's not hate at all. It really is
not hate.
It really isn't hate. It's just they're too much. And
what'd they do to you? Have they poisoned you on a previous occasion?
Probably close. That's actually not that far off. Like, yeah, I could see myself having almost been poisoned by some of them if I hung out and ate with them more. And so Cupid Shuffle's going, people moving, and then just a lot of like grabbing people to like hold yourself up and then just letting loose, right? So this is also happening where a couple people, I think, might be. This is outdoor wedding.
Outdoor wedding?
Yeah, it's outdoor wedding.
Because it'd be way funnier if it wasn't.
Sure.
If they're just in a reception hall.
But it's like Family Guy levels of people starting to get sick, and there's a mad dash and then a subsequent fight for the bathrooms because it's an outdoor wedding, there's not enough bathrooms. There's not like, there isn't a facility. So then there's like the sort of it's almost like a rec center bathroom. Have you ever been to one of those where it's like essentially a brick wall of zigzags and then just an open bathroom, male or female? You know what I'm talking about?
almost like a park shelter kind of bathroom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like that, and because it's like that, it's not big. It's like 2 stalls and then a urinal trough.
Now, well, that trough's about to get full.
Yeah.
But like also, they're outside, right? And they're vomiting. But people are running to the bathrooms means
something else is happening.
It means something else. They're not just vomiting.
Yeah.
If you need to race, because if you're outside, go throw up in a corner. Just let it go in the grass. Man.
Yeah.
You're already puking on the grass dance floor.
Yeah. Well,
so
no, the dance floor wasn't grass.
Oh, did they have like a cover on that?
They put a cover. Yeah.
Okay. But that's just slippery.
Yeah.
Now, if something else is happening, it means there's another bodily function.
Yeah.
Betraying these people. Just putting that out there.
And so basically, as that's happening, it's like utter chaos breaks out because now there's a fight for the for the bathrooms, especially on like the male side. Like people are like grabbing each other and pulling each other out of the way and so like that. Like the family unit has broken down. Like all those speeches y'all were giving a minute ago about being a new family and having a new son and all that is gone, right? Like this is the Capulets and the Montagues, all right? all over toilets. Okay.
Yeah.
And so then, as this is happening, I don't know what was going through his head. I don't know anything about why this happened. But the biggest fallout of the entire event is that a cousin on the bride's side chooses this moment of utter chaos to get down on one knee and propose to his girlfriend.
Because first off, proposing at a wedding sucks. Don't do it.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
People are out there doing this shit. Don't do that.
I'm not
Don't
even
fucking do
on
that.
the side of like bridezilla, whatever culture thing, but that is a genuine attack. Like,
It is just
you
there's-
propose at
there's-
a wedding.
Exactly. There's no other word for it except for fucking rude. It's just rude.
It is so it's
So rude. It ain't about you.
if you propose at a wedding and that person says yes, y'all have to stay together forever. There's no divorce now.
Yeah. Yeah.
That should be the punishment.
You especially can't like have a canceled engagement.
Yeah.
You gotta be right.
Yeah.
Because guess what? If you're wrong, you're gonna hear about it from whoever's wedding it was. That is who you are to them now. So first off, even outside of what's currently happening, don't do that.
Yeah.
Second, why then?
Why then? So
Why then? What made you think now?
I think that's also my problem.
The way she's screaming in agony
Yeah. The utter
lets me know I really love her.
chaos of that moment. And then you're like, this is it. This is what we play for.
I will say it is an immediately memorable engagement.
Yeah.
For them too. No one else will because they are dying internally. So they
There's a lot
So
of
maybe-
internal bleeding right now. So
frankly, that may be actually, I'm going to amend what I said. That may be the only good time to propose at a wedding because no one knows you're doing it. Because they're turning inside out. So no one gives a shit that you're proposing right now. Because no one even cares a wedding's happening right now because they're dying.
yeah. No, it's brutal.
And then you got to go around and try to tell people, like, hey, we got engaged too. And your uncle pulls his head out of the urinal trough. Good job.
Because also, yeah, that's the other thing is that you have to factor in who's now sick from pot pie drunk.
Yeah. Pot pie drunk.
And that's also, I think that's also one of the craziest things about this wedding.
Keith is a real pot pie drunk. I don't know what it means, but I like it.
Like the thing that's also so hard to handle about this entire scenario is that it was like a summer wedding in Louisiana, which means it's hot and muggy, and you had pot pie. A stomach full of pot pie as you dance and get drunk on probably moonshine. I have no idea.
Nothing I love more on a hot summer day than a fresh out the oven pot pie. I like to sit on the porch and just scald the inside of my mouth
Imagine
on some homemade hot pot pie.
Imagine burning your tongue on in 90-degree weather in a suit.
Oh God!
Like there's nothing conducive with a good time.
Yeah, no.
That was brutal.
Just still enjoying pot pie drunk too. Just pot. Yeah, man, we're about to go out tonight and get pot pie drunk.
Just imagine you're at a wedding and this is happening to you, by the way. So you're at the wedding and you don't know what's about to happen, but you know it's a little hot.
Yeah.
And you're in a shirt and tie, maybe a suit because you want to look nice because it's a wedding. And then you're sitting outside, sun beating down because it's a day wedding.
Yep.
Because if you have it at night, the mosquitoes are coming. And so So it's like this afternoon wedding.
They're coming for that gravy laden blood.
Those mosquitoes gonna have high cholesterol when they get done with you.
You can mosquito lands on you. You can hear it breathing heavy.
Yeah. Imagine just a mosquito with diabetes now, like sitting there like, I got the sugars, something awful. You're gonna have to cut off one of my wings.
Oh man, I have overdone it. Hey, a proposal.
And so imagine you go to that wedding, you're sitting there, it's hot, and then you finally get your food, which a lot of, like, it's getting better now that more people are taking control of their wedding and how they want to do it. But traditionally, when people do things the old way,
yeah,
the food only came when you were starving. Like, like weddings when I was a little kid, you go to somebody's wedding. I'm talking about when I was like itty bitty. I would go to someone's wedding and be like, hey, why haven't we eaten yet? They got married like 2 hours ago. I don't know what that has to do with my life anymore. And so then now a lot of weddings that I've been to, especially recently, have like a nice like rhythm to them, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, generally, I'd agree with that.
And so then imagine you go to that wedding, you're already hot, you get served a piping hot pot pie. And then there's just Rebel Yell in the back, which is it's a liquor, but like there's just Rebel Yell to drink to wash down the pie.
I thought you meant the Billy Idol song is just playing.
No. There's a drink.
No, I knew what you meant. Just dancing with a plate of pot pie in the midnight hour.
And so then you start dancing, which is just shaking up your hot stomach. Like, and then in the midst of the chaos of you trying to pull yourself together, you see a knucklehead near one of the tables proposing to his very sick girlfriend.
Do you know, did he try to get other people's attention?
I don't think so.
Everyone?
No.
Okay.
He like straight up just did it. But then anyone who wasn't sick, which also that's a good way to tell who doesn't like your cooking, because if anybody wasn't sick, they don't roll with what you make.
But now they're about to be sick because they're seeing a proposal at a wedding.
Yeah. And then it got back to the bride, who ended up getting very sick. And then it got back to the bride. She was like, you tried to ruin my wedding, and now they don't speak anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I mean, why would you?
Because it'd be great if actually she was about to throw up and she's like, someone needs to distract you. Propose. Go. I don't. Do something. Everyone.
Oh man. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. And
That's
then
pretty great.
The other one that I've been saving for quite a while.
Oh, damn. Okay.
You still kind of tipped it when you talked about your slight bender with your friends.
My slight bender.
Yeah, because I don't actually know what the full definition of a bender is, so
Well,
I said slight because you got sick.
No, it was just like, I think it was like I just ate a little too much and drank a little too much. It wasn't that wild. It's because I'm older and I don't like party now. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't take as much, but I haven't like just had a weekend with my friends in a while. So
out here, I got you. Living the dream, killing them, laying it down.
In the sink. Yeah.
Juicy.
Getting real juicy on the weekend. Getting that pot pie drunk. Yeah.
Just a stomach full of gravy. And then you out here trying to dance to Usher's Yeah.
Burp, 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 burp. Burp, 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 burp.
And so The second one is is one that was told to me in college. Basically, you know how that's actually a big thing in the South, where a lot of people get married very young. Like, we're talking 21, 22. Like, it's a small
Same
town
up
thing
here, man.
sometimes, and sometimes it's
I mean,
a
hell,
culture thing.
I got married at 22. So
Yeah. It's like, it's just a thing where
Totally get it.
you're with your people and you get to know someone so well from proximity that for a lot of people it does make sense, especially if you're not going to move. Like, imagine if you're not going to move from your
Right,
small
yeah.
town. Anyway, so I'm trying to figure out how best to frame this for you. Because I'm trying to think of like which perspective is the best to tell you from.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to do it from the third perspective, which is the friend that told me, instead of either person. So
Okay.
they were hanging out.
Third person omniscient.
Yeah,
narration is what we're going for
essentially
here.
third person omniscient, because I know what's going to happen. They didn't know what was going to happen. But if I pick a person to tell you, it might leave too many blanks.
Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So they are they are friends with two people. Let's just call them Sarah and Tommy. All right.
Sarah and Tommy are the friends.
Sarah and Tommy are the friends, right?
They are the lead characters of this story.
They are, indeed. Sarah and Tommy will, go out with their friends a lot and everything. And because they're in a smaller part of Louisiana, one of the main things to do is go to Walmart, right? And so...
Hey, as someone from small town Iowa, yeah, we did a lot of that.
Yeah. Especially when you're young. Like, when you're,
Yep.
once you are old enough, you go to bars and stuff like that. But...
Yeah, but when you're young, you go in and you look at the DVD selection, and then you just kind of go sit on the furniture.
Yeah. Or you talk about why certain things are in the $5 bin,
Yeah.
What happened to
Whatever-
his career? Where's he at right now?
Man.
We thought he was
Christian
big in the
Slater.
90s.
Christian Slater ain't getting shit now.
Oh,
3 of his movies on one disc.
Yeah, they would do that, and that either meant you were an icon or you were like hardcore done.
It was one or the other.
Yeah.
Either like these are 3 classic films by somebody, or someone please buy these John Travolta movies.
Yeah, it would be like 3 Christopher Walken on a disc movies, and
Yeah.
only one of them was one that was like a classic. The other 2 were just things he did early in his career.
And some that he's in for like a scene.
Yeah. Anyway, so they would go to Walmart, they would hang out. So they finally, get to be 21, and they go to bars, and it's like,
So now they can buy drinks in Walmart.
yeah, right.
really crack one and have it in the vacuum aisle.
And so once they're 21, they really start to go for it. And Sarah and Tommy both like drink pretty heavily, because that's also one of the things you do when there's nothing to do. And Tommy goes way further than Sarah, though. Like, he'll get much drunker, but then she, even in her state of drunkenness, is still able to take care of him. And so it's never so much a problem, because he's not like an angry drunk or what. He just gets like very bad on his feet, right? Like, he's a faller, okay? He's a tipping risk, all right? And one day, while they're all out drinking and everything, Tommy's pretty far gone, and he slumps next to the table. And as he's slumping next to the table, everyone thinks he's falling out of sliding, falling out of his seat slowly. And he's not. He's like, someone even tries to pick him up, and he's like, no, I'm good. And he's slumped, like, kind of still half in the chair, kind of leaning off the table, kind of on the ground a little bit. And he shifts over to where like one of his knees is actually on the ground and his butt is fully out of the seat, and he looks up at Sarah and he's like, will you marry me? And then Sarah, who's like not that drunk, gets furious. Gets so, but not why you think, gets so angry and goes, Tommy, you did this already.
That night or
a different time when they were alone, Tommy was a little bit drunk, which she thought was a little bit drunk. Maybe it was very drunk. Got down on one knee, proposed to her. She said yes. And they were so excited and like, you know, they were like chilling and everything like that. And then the next day, she couldn't find the ring, right?
Oh, and so he even had a ring with him.
No, he had a ring with him. He had a ring with him.
Oh, okay.
She couldn't find the ring, and she was too scared to tell because he literally just proposed like the night before, or whatever. So then she doesn't tell her friends, and she doesn't tell anybody because she can't find the ring. So she's freaking out, and then a couple days later, they go out with their friends. Basically, Tommy forgot he proposed, stole the ring back because she left the ring she took off the ring that night and then like went to bed. So he sees it the next morning, grabs it thinking he must have left it out or something, has no recollection of proposing at all.
So she didn't lose it.
She didn't lose it at all. He took it back without remembering he proposed. And so then when he proposes again, she's furious because he's put her through this like maybe 2 days of freaking out thinking that she had lost the ring. And he's proposing to her again because he forgot the first time. And he's doing it drunker.
Listen, I get that. I think kind of though, everyone's even in this one. I don't know. I feel like. Because she was terrified that she lost the ring, was the only one who seemed to have known they were engaged. He forgot. I don't know. I think that might be just a good blank slate. Just because now you're bringing it down. Now it's like now we got to do a third one.
Yeah, now we got to do a third one completely sober.
So now we're fighting. So drink up so we can forget this one. And then we'll do this again in a couple nights.
100%.
Come on. Renewing vows? How about renewing your engagement every other day? That's how you keep the love alive.
Yeah, because I don't know how long this, like, I just from the story, I was like, was it the next day or whatever? And they were like, oh, it seems short. But who knows how long she thought she lost it and just tried to not mention it and tried to, whatever.
But also, look how much he wants to marry her, huh?
Mm-hmm. That he forgot he proposed.
Okay, that doesn't help the point. But I mean, he really wants to do it, so he did it a couple times, and it's and you can tell it's just what's coming out because he's drunk. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. As long as he's not like saying a wrong name or anything. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. It kind of feels like they were meant to be together.
Kind of.
Not saying they're perfect, but it seems like they're living on the same page.
Oh man,
this is what I'm getting.
Hey, so we're actually going to wrap up this episode because Logan's camera died, and I don't know how to help him at all. I barely know how to work mine. I think that maybe I've lit myself right, but I may have been coming in very dark this whole video. If I haven't, it's because of some great post editing. But thank you so much for.
Don't put that on me.
No, I'm just saying. If
no, I'm kidding.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for watching, and we are excited to bring you these every week and to check out clips and other little parts that we're going to be putting out of episodes. And thank you for rolling with us. Happy 100, everybody. And we will be back with more.
Yeah. Thanks for listening for 100 episodes. I'm still here. You keep looking at the camera and I'll just talk for a while. Yeah. I'm your your inner thoughts.
Yeah,
now.
I don't really like that. You've made it weird now.
Yeah, that was my goal the whole time.
Okay. Well, we will see you in a bit, and we love you very much.
Bye.
Philadelphia, please make it loud for Josh Johnson!
When I was growing up, I had a friend who was like a latchkey kid, and he would get off the bus, and he had 2 hours to himself before his parents came home. So he'd get off the bus, he'd open the door in the house, he had full reign of the house. And we're still little, but he's like old enough to, go ahead and make himself a grilled cheese if he wants something, anything, just till his parents get home. And one day he comes home and his parents had a get together the night before, and he sees laid out just a little bit left of some wine. And he's like, oh wow, I know that this is grown-up juice, but I want to try it because I'm not supposed to have it, because I know I'm not supposed to have it, right? And so picks it up, and he's weighing the options in his head. He's like, I could try it, but what if I get caught? I'd be in so much trouble. Oh, but I really want it. Maybe nobody will know. And he's going over and over it in his head to the point where he decides, I'm going to just have a little sip. And he's bringing it to his lips, and then he ends up slipping it out of his hand, drops it, stains the carpet, right? So now he's freaking out because it's like, oh no, they'll know there wasn't a stain there when they left. This is all on me. And he did what a lot of kids would do in that scenario. He made it worse. He was like, the only thing, and I can understand he's a kid, but this is a mistake that I don't think I would have made. The best thing for him to do in that moment, he thought, was to make a bigger mess. And then that way, the stain won't be so bad. So he grabbed a rock and he threw it through the window. Which was a huge mistake because he went outside to get the rock and then threw it from inside outside. He realized what he had done as soon as he did it, so then he had to go back outside, grab the rock, carefully pick up all the glass, bring it back inside, lay out the glass next to the rock, next to the stain. And then his parents get home, and when they come home, immediately they're like, oh my gosh, what happened? What happened? And he's had an hour 20 to think up a story, So he's over here like, yeah, it was crazy. They're like, what happened? You got the rock going through the windows, all this glass on the floor and this stain. He's like, well, the stain's probably not as big of a deal as the broken window when you really think about it, right? And they're like, what happened? And he says, well, the rock came through the window and it must have hit the glass that had the wine in it, the wine that really shouldn't have been left out. That's an adult beverage. I'm a minor. And then it must have hit the perfect angle to hit that glass and this glass and then knock over and then make a stain on our beautiful 3-bedroom carpet. Yeah. And his parents were like, but did you see it happen? Like, how did this happen? Did somebody throw this? And he's like, uh-oh, because he didn't think that far. And so he was like, yeah, the man threw it. And they were like, what man? And now he's in deep because he's like, yeah, what man? What am I doing? And so he's like, yeah, there was a man that, threw the rock through the window and everything. And you saw him? Yeah, I saw him. He threw it and he ran and everything. And he thought maybe that would be the end of it. But from his parents' perspective, there was someone who threw a rock into the window, maybe to get inside while their son was home. So they had more and more questions, and he didn't know what to do. He was freaking out, Next thing he knows, the police have been called, and the police come over, and they're like, what did the man look like? And they over here taking notes and stuff, and he's like, he doesn't know what to say next because he didn't think this far. And that's how I feel like Trump must feel about Epstein, because it goes so deep. It's like he didn't think this far in the lies. Like he just didn't account for it. He thought he could make it quiet, you know? It's not gonna be pitched as a direct and absolutely direct order from Trump, what the DOJ did, but the DOJ came out after interviews saying, oh, there's so much information, we're just trying to figure out how to put it out there in a way that's clear. Oh, there's so many files, there's a list of names, there's logs, there's a client list. After saying all this stuff in the media, the DOJ comes out and says, actually, the investigation is closed, we're not gonna be prosecuting anybody else, and I think we got to the bottom of it. Thank you for your attention to this matter. That's not going to stand at all. That's not going to stand with anybody, because you got to remember who Trump garnered with this belief that he released the Epstein files. He's got MAGA, sure, but he also has Q. Nobody talks about Q anymore, but they're still around. And they believe deeply that Donald Trump is going to be the one to unleash all of the truth. All the evidence will come out. When Trump is president, he'll turn over everything on the powerful cabal that has been victimizing people across the world. And then he's like, hey, yeah, there's no... And I think he thought that he could really bury it, that he could truly bury it. But he's wrong. He's wrong, because there are a lot of things that he didn't account for. There are people that Trump controls. There are people who he orders around, and there are people who blindly follow him, sure. But he didn't count on things like Jeffrey Epstein talking before he died to a biographer for like 100 hours. Like just a ridiculous amount of time. I have friends I don't think I've spoken to for 100 hours. 100 hours, you probably say a lot of nothing, and you probably say some pretty interesting stuff. Those 100 hours of conversation is how we know that Trump and Epstein were tight for years. Well, even Epstein said he knows some of the inner workings of the White House because him and Trump would just chop it up. You know what I mean? That's heavy. That's a lot to try to sidestep. And Trump's been making mistakes this whole time. Even when Epstein died, right? Epstein dies, he was in jail and he passed. Who can say how? And, you know, Ghislaine Maxwell gets, you know, charged, has a whole trial, gets convicted, sentenced to 20 years in prison. And apparently what we're hearing now is that at the time, you know, Trump floated pardoning her. And the people that heard that almost couldn't believe it. Why would he pardon her? That's crazy. And it's like, actually, it's not that crazy when you see the picture of all them hanging out, like, in the 90s, and they met in the 80s, and they used to fly around together. Like, that's his buddy. You know? And he even said himself, these are his words out of his mouth, when asked about Ghislaine Maxwell during the trial, he said, oh, you know, I wish her well. Somebody that's on trial for trafficking. Somebody with ties to you. I wish her well. And then people were like, why would you wish her well? And then they brought it up again, and Trump was like, I wish lots of people well. And we were like, no, you don't. I've been watching you the whole time. I don't think you wish anybody well that I've seen. All you come up with is nicknames. man floated pardoning her. That's crazy. And then the DOJ comes out, hey, yeah, this is done. Nothing else to see here. And people were having a hard time wrapping their heads around that. People who usually stump for Trump hard. No matter what he says, they manage to twist it in a way that maybe could make sense to you, and they'll say that that's what he means. One of the reasons that Trump can do everything that he does and it comes off a different way to everybody is because so many people think that they're the Trump whisperer. Trump will say something out of nowhere, and then there'll be people like, well, what he actually meant was something more reasonable that I'm going to say right now. And I'll be like, that's interesting, because he didn't say any of those words in that order when he was speaking. And I think he had a teleprompter, so I don't see how that's possible. And so everybody thinks that they can be the Trump whisperer, and it's just not working this time. You see people trying to come up with why Trump, why the FBI, why the Attorney General would all of a sudden, what feels like out of nowhere, try to shut this whole thing down, right? Alex Jones, of all people, saw what the DOJ did, and he made a video crying. I think it's very important. When, when a man shows emotion, not to just ridicule him for it because it's easy. But Alex Jones cries weird. Alex Jones cry weirder than anybody I've ever seen in my life. I don't wish anything good for Alex Jones, but to see him cry felt like something happened to me too. Like, it's... Alex Jones is up here like, folks. Like his eyelids were doing sit-ups, crying. I'm sick to my stomach, and I just can't believe this thing is happening. Wipe your face, dog. Like, and even Alex Jones trying to come up with something. He's like maybe the deep state got to him, and the deep state is like in his body, and that's why he's doing this stuff right now. And then he'll be back to normal after he has one of my protein shakes. You can go to my website and buy frog protein for $19.99. No, it was crazy. Because Alex Jones, you gotta remember, this dude is a proper conspiracy theorist. Old school. There's something deeper behind everything. Everything at all times. And I'm not talking about like chemtrails. I'm not talking about like government operations. There's something deeper behind everything that happens all the time. Hillary Clinton went on The Tonight Show. Pretty sure this was on The Tonight Show. And she was trying to open a jar of pickles, right? I don't remember what the bit was, but that's what was happening. And Alex Jones pulled it up, and right after she opened the jar, he was like, you see? Do you see what happened right there? Hillary Clinton didn't open that jar. Now, in the video, she has opened the jar. Hillary Clinton didn't open that jar. That jar was pre-opened. All right? You can tell because there was no pop. There's supposed to be a pop. There was no... I brought the same jar. I'm going to open for him right now. And this man spends a while trying to open the jar. He spends an uncomfortable amount of time trying to open the jar. I think at one point he even had a rag too. You know, like those kitchen tricks you use? He over here, you know, sometimes you like tap the top of it, you like... And he's like, I can't even open it right now, folks. That's how you know this thing right here, she didn't open that jar. So imagine Alex Jones on Epstein. No. I just think about the way that MAGA has been reacting. Because it is a full-on revolt. Truly. It's a thing that they cannot fathom is happening. Whether it's Q, whether it's MAGA, or whether it's just people who have been following the Epstein case from the beginning. Because you got to remember what Epstein stands for. He is the ultimate boogeyman. He is the ultimate beacon for people that believe that all the elites are in on something together. And it's easy to make him that because he had an island, billionaires were flying around, people went to him for tax advice and for law advice. He was this financier, even though I don't think he had a law degree and he wasn't a CPA. So it's like, what are you doing with people's taxes that you helping? And so this dude, he represents a lot. He stands for a lot in conspiracy theory world and in just the regular world. This is someone who has ties to billionaires, to royalty, who come to him for horrific acts. And now you're telling us, there's nothing else to see here. There's nothing else to see between, me and him especially. There's nothing. Don't look. Stop. 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 And so then Trump, for his part, is watching this whole thing go down, and he's watching people argue about it in front of him, people who are, in his administration and on his side, argue about the best way to handle it, going back and forth. Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, all names that sound like they're about to be called down on The Price is Right. All three of them are constantly going at it because then, Bongino is upset with Pam because he thinks that Pam overpromised and underdelivered and everything. Why would you even say that this stuff was coming unless you had a plan? You were just talking in front of the camera. And then Pam is going back at him, and Trump's watching this whole thing. And then in a press conference, they even asked him, they actually asked Pam Bondi a question about the tapes and the DOJ's memo and everything. And Pam Bondi was ready to answer. She was about to speak, and Trump interrupted her. He's like, hey, look, are we still talking about this guy? Why? Years. Why? Everybody's talking about this dude. What's the point? You know what I mean? It's just, I'm sick of this for you, Pam. You don't even feel like answering, do you? And Pam didn't catch. She wasn't quick enough. She was like, no, I don't mind answering. And I know Trump had to be sick when that happened. It's like, no, go ahead and answer then. And, Pam Bondi talked about how they had released a lot of stuff, because there's a difference between releasing evidence around a case or releasing vital information or declassifying things and then releasing stuff, right? So they released a bunch of stuff to look like they were releasing something. They released the videotape of the night that Epstein got up out of here. And the problem with the tape is that it's always been talked about as if there was a tape of his cell that would prove definitively that nothing untoward happened, right? But the tape isn't of Jeffrey Epstein's cell with him sitting there and everything. It's of a hallway. And you're giving a tape to conspiracy theorists. They're gonna do some extra looking. There's 10 hours of tape. But there is 61 seconds missing. I don't know how long it takes to kill somebody. But if there's 61 seconds missing, I'm assuming that it takes 50 seconds and gives you 11 seconds to get down the hall. And I'm not even saying that's what happened, by the way. I'm just saying 61 seconds, that's weird. And they asked Pam Bondi about it, and Pam Bondi is like, look, it's a very old system from the 90s where the tape resets at midnight, so it takes a second to reset, and that's why 61 seconds are missing. And I had a lot of questions. I had a ton of questions. One, my first question didn't even concern Epstein. My first question was, why are you telling everybody that? Because that is very valuable information if you're a prisoner in that. Because you know what they play in prison, the news. You probably sit there in Gen Pop like, wait, it what? Every day? I gotta go take care of something. So she says, look, this is the way that system works. So we're actually gonna be supplying more video footage to show that there's a minute missing every night. And I was like, why would you say that? The people in prison can hear you. But also, that's a pretty bad system. It was supposed to be watching somebody, and it takes a minute to blink. That's pretty wild. That it's just gonna be missing every day, and you're telling us that like it's not an issue at all. Felt crazy to me. And then they release the video, and then people go digging, they go looking. And one of the things they find is that the video has been doctored. Somebody at some point ran the video through Adobe Premiere and did something. And I'm not saying, look. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Adobe Premiere, all right? All I'm saying is I would have thought the government, with all their resources, you know what I mean? Like the government would have like a special program. That just feel pretty cheap to make an Adobe Cloud account that you run this Epstein tape through. Like nobody's gonna know, so then people are wondering about the missing minute. They're wondering about how this video's been tampered with. And then even people who watch the full 10 hours of the video, because you gotta remember, some of these people are dedicated. They're like, there's actually a guard that leaves one way and never comes back, which proves that there's two ways to enter that hallway. And I was like, oh man, he's so screwed. Trump, he's very good at creating a distraction, and he tries. He did his best. He said that he was gonna revoke Rosie O'Donnell's citizenship. On any other day in American history, that would be a headline. Any other day, that'd be wild. And look, Rosie O'Donnell and Donald Trump have what I think is now like a 20-year feud going on, which is absolutely insane. The President of the United States has the ultimate and deepest beef. His arch nemesis is the actress from Harriet the Spy. That is mind-boggling. The leader of the free world is ready to have it out at any given moment with the voice actress from the main gorilla in the Disney movie Tarzan. The man with his fingers on the button for the nukes has a deep hatred in his heart, decades long, for Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Award winner Rosie O'Donnell. This is an unacceptable timeline. That is crazy. I don't even know what Rosie O'Donnell did that day. Like, I don't know what even brought it up. But he says, I'm thinking about revoking Rosie O'Donnell's citizenship. If Ireland wants to keep her, they could have her. And any other day, this would be the story. He knows that. Who knows? Look, I'm of two minds about this thing. because it is clearly a distraction, so I don't want to spend too much time on it. But I'm of two minds about this thing because, one, obviously, there's a world where he's just like saying stuff to say stuff to like swiftly like move the news cycle in another direction, and he may not do anything. But the fact, as a sitting president, that he would even muster up the corner of his thumbs to put that into a phone to go out to the world is so deeply insane. Because this thing that he's doing now is not just a step too far, it's the entire field too far. Rosie O'Donnell is an American citizen, a citizen. And so if he can do that, then truly, 100%, without a doubt now, nobody is safe. What started this whole like immigration, fear-mongering, you gotta remember, because you have to understand, as a platform, people have been running on it as long as there have been, green cards and immigration programs. Oh, is it a little too much? Oh, we don't like what it's doing to the landscape of our neighborhood and everything. And people have won votes on it. That's nothing new. But what's turned is the way that people are openly nasty and disgusting about it. There's always been racism in it. It's mainly what it is, because if you really cared about people coming over the right way, the legal way, then you would make the right way and the legal way clear, and you wouldn't kidnap people at their green card interviews, and you wouldn't have like mass people picking people up after baseball practice, okay? If that's what you cared about. And you also, you've structured this thing to make these people seem like monsters. That's been the plan this entire time, because if somebody is a monster, it is part of the human condition and a flaw that we have. As long as we see somebody as a monster, whether they are or not, we don't really care what happens to them. It's why they can make conditions in prison so bad, because the assumption is, well, everybody that's there deserves to be there, so screw them, right? If they don't have clean water, or if they can't shower, or if their food's contaminated, good. Because they did something bad to earn that place, right? And it helps you strip the basic humanity of looking at another person, whether they've made a mistake or not, or looking at another person, whether from a different country or not. And if you get really good at stripping that humanity away, you can do whatever you want, and then you start to be able to do whatever you want to anybody that you want. And that's what's been creeping up this entire time. What started as like, guys, they're eating the dogs. Remember, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. Nobody's pets are safe. It was getting so dumb. It was past like, these are criminals and they're killing us and they're coming over here to do terrible things. And then it started to morph a little bit more. Okay, look, I know that they're going through the proper channels and everything, but they have a misdemeanor in another country. Do we really want somebody like that to become a citizen? Maybe we should deport them now. No, I understand that they have their green card, but they also, I don't know, they have this weird past out like, or they wrote an op-ed I didn't like, or they said a thing that I didn't like. So do we really want someone like that in our country? I know that they are a fully naturalized citizen, but the way that they became a citizen is a little bit under suspect, because I said so just now. So maybe we'll deport them. And now we're all the way to the point that American citizens that I do not like can be gone. And so you see, when you let somebody's humanity get stripped away over and over and over again, and it's in the back of your head, and you even go with the lie. They probably did something, or maybe they shouldn't have done that thing, or maybe they have a good reason. When you do that enough and it finally comes for you, don't be surprised. Because the thing with the Rosie O'Donnell, it's like there's a part of it that I think is nothing. I'm not saying that thing is absolutely going to happen. I'm just also saying that the fact that he even fixed his fingers to put it out is a problem. And normally, on any other day, it would have been such a problem that it's what everyone on the news would have been talking about. But this was a different day. This was a day where Dan Bongino is so upset he doesn't even report into work. He's tired of arguing with Pam Bondi. He might resign. Other people are talking about resigning. This Epstein thing isn't going away. And so then Donald Trump did what he does best, what he does in a crisis, and what he does when it counts. He made it worse. Like a kid throwing a rock through his own window. He makes it so much worse. And now Trump is dealing with that fallout. There are people calling for Pam Bondi to resign. There are people that are asking Trump extra questions. And then Trump crashes out spectacularly while y'all were probably parking. And so I'm gonna do this real quick. I don't like to use my phone or bring my phone out often, but I have to read you what Trump posted. And admittedly, look, I'm gonna read every word that he posted, all right? But I will be doing it the way that I read it in my head. This is insane. What's going on, my boys? Boys in quotations. Oh no, what's going on with my boys? Boys in quotations. And in some cases, gals? Also in quotations. Are you asking us a question about what's going on with them, or are you confused about the gals specifically? They're all going after Attorney General Pam Bondi, who is doing a fantastic job, all caps. We're on one team, MAGA, and I don't like what's happening. We have a perfect, all caps, administration. The talk of the world, all caps, and selfish people, in quotes, are trying to hurt it. All over a guy who never dies. What? I'm not saying that Trump killed Epstein. I'm not saying that at all. I'm like specifically not saying that. I need you to understand that I am explicitly not saying that Trump killed Epstein. I'm just saying that if I was like driving in my car and I hit somebody and I somehow got away with it, but I saw them every time I closed my eyes, I'd be like, this guy never dies. All over a guy who never dies, Jeffrey Epstein. For years, it's Epstein over and over again. This is a man who hasn't slept. For years, it's Epstein over and over again. Why are we giving publicity to files written by Obama? You know what's so good about files written by Obama is that Trump was sitting there knowing he know Epstein. Trump knows Epstein so well. They were friends. Trump lived so close to Epstein in Florida that Epstein had to knock on his door and let him know he was on the sex offender registry. Like, that's how close they lived together. He knocked on the door, was like, hi, the court has ordered me to notify you that I'm in the area. I have been convicted of a few crimes, and I left my suit jacket over here last night, so that's crazy. By Obama, and it's a list. It's a list. It's, why are we giving publicity to files? You know what it also is? This man was sitting here knowing that he knows Epstein. He's sitting here knowing that this looks very bad. And he did the DOJ thing, even though it's not directly tied to him, even though the president isn't allowed to interfere. He clearly did the DOJ thing where he told them to shut it down. And now people are rebelling against him. And he's sitting there like, how can I make it DEI? Obama. Thanks, Obama. Why are we giving publicity to files written by Obama, Crooked Hillary, Comey, Brennan, and the losers and criminals of the Biden administration? So I guess they were all in a room in this scenario, and and they wrote the files together in tandem. Like Obama just knew that everyone in the Biden administration would be in the Biden administration one day, so he gathered them all together. But this is also before Epstein ever died or anything, so Obama time traveled to like right after to know it would hurt Trump, so then he came back in regular time and he sat down Hillary Clinton, Comey, Brennan, and the loser. He had to get all the losers and criminals of the Biden administration in one room so they could write. Also, wrote the files? Isn't it a bunch of documents? And the losers and criminals of the Biden administration, I do like that he said there are criminals in the Biden administration, but there are some people who aren't criminals. They're just losers. But I want to make sure I address them too. You're not safe. You're not safe just because you're not a criminal if you're a loser as well, all right? In fact, you're a loser because you're not a criminal, all right? I have 34 felony convictions, and I'm the president, okay? You out here not even a criminal. You can't even criminal good. Loser. And the losers and criminals of the Biden administration who conned the world with Russia, Russia hoax, 51 intelligence agents, intelligence is in quotes, the laptop from hell. I don't know what that means. I don't know. I really don't know what that is. I don't know if that's like Hunter Biden's laptop or a laptop with Hillary's emails on it, or if he just had a bad experience with an HP laptop. But like, that is also in all caps. The laptop from hell and more, question mark. They created the Epstein files just like they created the fake, all caps, Hillary Clinton, Christopher Steele dossier that they used on me. And now my so-called friends, this man hurt because my so-called friends, as a world leader, my so-called friends is the most Regina George Mean Girls line I've ever heard in my entire life. My so-called friends is wild. Foreign diplomats, world leaders had a dinner that Trump was at, and they made fun. This is his first term. They made fun of him at the dinner. He could probably hear him in the background. They were laughing. It was like Boris Johnson and Justin Trudeau and other people, and they were over here doing him. They were over here like just making fun of him hard, cracking up, talking about how he doesn't know how to spell, everything. They were getting him good. They were roasting him. And then this man comes back to the U.S. and I'm pretty sure it was Fox News that played the tape that somebody got of them making fun of him, not with a bunch of audio, and his head was down a little bit. You could tell his feelings were hurt, for real. And he was looking down and everything. And he just said, yeah, I didn't know that, like, they were, like fake like that or anything. Even in that moment, he didn't say my so-called friends. My so-called friends is insane. And now my so-called friends are playing right into their hands. Why didn't these radical left lunatics release the Epstein files? If there was anything in there that could have hurt the MAGA movement, why didn't they use it? And this is good. This is clever. He's doing what he does. This is the Republican talking point that's going to go around. Look for it over and over and over again. Well, why didn't Biden release the Epstein files? If there was anything in there that could hurt Trump, that could derail MAGA, why didn't he release it? All right, that's the most I know you are, but what am I logic I've ever heard in my life? Because you're the president now, so you could release them. I know that Biden didn't release them, but you could release them. You could. You could release them if you wanted. You could, you could, like I dare you. I was just saying, like I dare you. I bet you won't. I bet you're too scared. I bet you won't. But you could. I know Biden didn't, but you're the president now, and I thought you were a better president, so you could do anything that Biden didn't do. You said that. You were like, there's a bunch of things Biden can't do that I can do, that only I can do, and one of those things is release the Epstein files. Like, I bet you won't do it, though, because you're scared. No, it's just funny, man. This man, he's going through it. Why didn't they use it? They haven't even given up on the John F. Kennedy or the MLK Jr. files, which is a terrible idea to bring up different conspiracy-laden things while you talk about there not being a conspiracy. That's crazy. That's a terrible move. This man is derailing. No matter how much success we have had securing the border, deporting criminals, fixing the economy, energy dominance, a safer world where Iran will not have nuclear weapons, it's never enough for some people. This man is spiraling. It's never enough for some people is not what a president says. It's never enough for some people is not how you speak as a president. That's how you speak as a dad who just finished a 16-hour shift and somebody tells you to take out the trash. It's never enough for you people. Every day, I've been awake for 24 hours. It's my birthday. Yeah, thanks for the time. It's never enough for some people. We are about to achieve more in 6 months than any other administration has achieved in over 100 years. And that's true. That's true. We're all going to die. And we have so much more to do. We are saving our country and making America great again, all caps, which will continue to be our complete priority, all caps. The left is imploding. Kash Patel and the FBI must be focused on investigating voter fraud, political corruption, Act Blue, the rigged and stolen election of 2020, and arresting thugs and criminals instead of spending month after month looking at nothing but the same old radical left-inspired documents on Jeffrey Epstein. Let Pam Bondi do her job, all caps. She's great, all caps. The 2020 election was rigged and stolen, and they tried to do the same thing in 2024. That's what she's looking into as AG, and much more. 1 year ago, our country was dead, all caps. Now it's the hottest, all caps, country anywhere in the world. Let's keep it that way and not waste time and energy on Jeffrey Epstein, somebody that nobody cares about. Thank you for your attention to this matter. There's a thing I read about a long time ago. There was this leader named Father Yod, and Father Yod was the head of the Source family. The Source family was this collection of people. Some people called them a cult and everything, but they mostly kept to themselves. Like, they ran like a vegan restaurant, I think, and they just minded their own business. But one of the most interesting things about Father Yod was Father Yod told them early on, before it was ever even really a cult, before there were even a lot of members, I'm God, and don't go to a hospital. That was his thing. And that happens in a lot of cults, by the way. Don't go to the hospital because hospitals are full of experts who can provide answers that I can't. So if I can cut you off from other experts, if I can cut you off from people reasoning in a way that is just direct with logic, I've already started to bring you into the fold in a way that you'll never leave. And so Father Yod would tell them, don't go to a hospital, right? And so they didn't. Members of the Source family would not go to a hospital. And they did what I would say was generally well for a cult as far as length. A lot of cults fall apart in those first few years. You know what I mean? First year, everything sort of starts out good. Everybody's just having a good time, making friends, living in a commune and everything. And then year two, somebody try to get you drink something or do something else. Just people start coming for your mouth, you know what I mean? And all sorts of ways that get uncomfortable, and that's usually when the cult falls apart, because there are people that are like, ooh, I'm not going to do that, I'm not going to drink that, ooh, that's weird, no, I'm going to go, right? And then that's when leaders sort of crumble and start having power grabs, and they get paranoid and everything. This didn't really happen, at least from what I read, to the Source family, Father Yod, and they stayed together long enough that there were members of the community that started coupling and even having children. And it got to the point where they were about to have the first baby born into the Source family, but they can't go to a hospital. They can't go to a hospital, and something feels wrong. And no one can really describe what it is, but basically this member starts going into labor in real time. So everybody is looking over to Father, yo, you know, you said you were God. You told us not to go to the hospital. I think you're going to have to deliver this baby. And so this man does it. He delivered the baby. But when the baby came out, it wasn't making any noise. And it wasn't moving at all. And people started crying. Everyone was devastated. There was so much joy around having a new person in the family. And Father Yote, he did something. I don't know what he did, but the members described it as him just clearing the airway gently a little bit, and out of nowhere, after all that silence, after no movement, the baby cried and it started moving. And if he thought he had followers then, if he thought that they were believers then, we don't need a hospital. And it got to the point where one day Father Yote was like, you know what? I'm done with this whole like earthly thing. I'm tired of healing y'all and everything. Everybody coming up to me all the time. I got a cold. Because that's what he would do. People would like have a cold and then he'd be like, blah, 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 and then they would still have a cold and they just get over it in 2 weeks because it was a cold, right? But then when they finally got over the cold, he'd walk by and be like, did it? And it's like, all right, well. And so this one day Father Yote said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take a vacation. Get away from y'all for a little bit. I'll come back, but I'm going to take a vacation. I'm going to take it in heaven. And so he got on a 1,300-foot cliff with a glider. Because I guess he thought he was going to glide up enough to just like get to heaven's front door or something. Like this man is truly like lost to the sauce, right? He'd been leading the cult too long. He believed him now. I wish I had half the confidence. Because that's so crazy to think you're just going to fly up to heaven and stay up there, but you also need a glider. Do you know what I mean? Like, at least people on ecstasy think they gonna just fly immediately, you know? This dude gets on the glider, takes off, and never did this before in his life. Wasn't trained or anything. And so he jumps off the cliff in the glider, and he goes perfectly down. He goes straight down. This man, bow, right? And so the followers like, oh, he went the wrong way. And then they come down the cliff and everything, and they come to get him. He laid out. I can't even do it. He laid out. He laid out like, but not like busted up. He's not dead. He's laid out like this. And didn't have any, to what I read at least, he didn't have any significant, any substantial like bruising or markups on his body. Another miracle, you would think. Turns out everything stayed intact, but his guts were all upside down. Like this man stayed perfectly in his body, but his lungs were in his feet. Like and so they run up on him, and he over here laid out like, I can't even do it right. Like he laid out like, when they find him, glider crash, he laid out like this. And they run up there like, Father, Father. And he's like, get me to a hospital. Get me to a hospital now. And the followers are like, what? And he's like, yeah, the one on 32 Roscoe, please. Hurry up and get me to a hospital.
And there's different accounts of this. I'm sure that there's followers that say he never asked for a hospital. I'm sure there's followers that say he asked for a hospital immediately. But this dude is like, get me to a hospital. And then the followers are like, what? Why though? Like, you said never go to a hospital. You said that that's not real science in there. You said that you get sicker if you go to a hospital. We can't take you to a hospital. And he said, get me to a hospital. I'm serious. Oh, I feel something upside down. You know what it probably sounded like? I mean, I'm not there. We don't have the footage or anything. But I imagine if you fall 1,300 feet down, you probably sound like that grape lady. Remember that grape lady that was crushing the grapes, and then she fell, and then she went, arr, 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 arr. Off camera, we didn't see her. Because I'm sure when he said, get me to a hospital, they really didn't understand what he was saying at first, because he was like, get me to a hospital. I think my spine behind my balls. Get me to a hospital. But then my man looked intact. So they're like, no, he doesn't need a hospital, he just needs rest. And then he died 9 hours later. And so when I see the way that like MAGA is turning on Trump, it just feels so much like, what? Why would you? Wait. Why would he lie? He really doesn't understand. Trump truly doesn't understand why this thing won't go away. And it's because he doesn't understand people. You know? Whether it's, you know, the MAGA base, whether it's Q, whether it's anybody online, anybody interested or concerned about anything to do with Epstein, all those people are people. So if you lead people on and you lie to people, they have a reaction. You can't just get something and give nothing in return. And people won't let it go, and they won't give up on it, because this man is real. He really existed. And he really destroyed a lot of lives. And for all of our faults as humans, we care about that. And so no, we're not just gonna let it go. It's not like some passing fad of a thing. I think it is to him, because he just uses what he needs while he needs it to get what he wants. And once he has it, he throws it or the person who gave it to him away. And it's something that some people are finding out right now, that he'll betray you on a dime. Nothing matters to him. Because if this thing doesn't matter to him, then nothing matters to him at all. There's no way around it. People care because vulnerable people were victimized for a very long time. And whatever part you had to do with that, it can't be covered up, because there's nothing that screams, I'm in the Epstein files, like, stop looking for the Epstein files. One thing that I thought was incredible, one thing that put a smile on my face, was when Rosie O'Donnell responded to Donald Trump talking about revoking her citizenship. And I know I don't like to pull out my phone, but I want to read you what she said. You can actually look. You can actually. This is on her Instagram, so you can actually look this up for yourself. I'm not kidding. This is crazy. So first thing she does is post a picture of Trump and Epstein together, which is genuinely hilarious. And is Rosie O'Donnell posted in the caption, "Hey Donald, you rattled again? 18 years later, I still live rent-free in that collapsing brain of yours." I'm gonna be honest with you right now.
I watch the news all the time. I watch people try to defend Trump. I watch people attack Trump, and I'm chronically online. So I watch people insult Trump all day long, and I have never come across collapsing brains. Collapsing brain would actually explain everything. It would explain the made-up words. It would explain the spelling. You call me a threat to humanity, but I'm everything you fear. A loud woman, a queer woman, a mother who tells the truth, an American who got out of the country before you set it ablaze. You built walls, I built a life. My autistic kid in a country where decency still exists. You crave loyalty. I teach my children to question power. You sell fear on golf courses. I make art about surviving trauma. You lie, you steal, you degrade. I nurture, I create, I persist. You are everything that is wrong with America, and I am everything you hate about what's still right with it. You want to revoke my citizenship. Go ahead and try King Joffrey with a tangerine spray tan. Jeez. I'm not yours to silence, I never was, and then it's the Irish flag signed Rosie. And if I'm being honest, I just never expected. Like, I never expected the President of the United States to be so effectively eviscerated by one of the supporting actresses from A League of Their Own. Like, it just feels wild that this is life. Philly, y'all been phenomenal. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. I hope you had a fantastic time. I had so much fun with you. Thank you for an incredible weekend at the Fillmore. Thank you for 8 sold-out shows. I appreciate you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please make some noise for Josh Johnson!
It genuinely has been an insane week. You know? Yeah. No, I know. No, it's that part. I'm not going to talk about it forever, but yeah. Oh, it's what you came for? Okay, good. Yeah, I'm glad you didn't want to hear about my life. No, okay. You know, Trump took office and he immediately signed a wild amount of executive orders. They've been one-upping each other every presidency for a little while. Like, I'm pretty sure Barack Obama signed more than Bush, and then Trump signed more than Obama, and then Biden signed more than Trump. But this was like astronomical. This was a whole lot, because basically Trump went ahead and signed executive orders that rolled back a lot of what Biden did, plus his own. All right. And he did some sweeping stuff. Like, he signed an executive order that began the steps for the U.S. to leave the World Health Organization. I did not do it. But what feels kind of wild to me about the executive orders that Trump is passing, and a lot of the things that we're going to see for the next few months into the rest of his presidency, is basically just a blueprint of everything that Project 2025 said that they were going to do. It's a project that he said he knew nothing about and had nothing to do with, but now that he's in office, they seem hella tight. It's kind of like when you tell the police you don't know somebody, and then the police are like, but here's a picture of you two right here. And the picture hella incriminating, because it's not you just happening to be in the picture with them, it's you being like, hey. You say that you're not boys, but in this picture here, you're holding a different picture of the two of you together. You're like... And sure enough, yeah, Trump signed an executive order that would start the process of the U.S. leaving the World Health Organization. And I feel like there are some things that Trump is doing because they're his idea, and some things that he's doing because his aides and the people that wrote up Project 2025 are pushing him to do it for whatever their own reasons are, right? Like, I feel like they went to Trump and they were like, we need you to pull out of the World Health Organization. Then Trump was like, who? And they were like, yes. And he was like, yes, what? And they were like, who? And he's like, who? And they were like, that's what we're saying. Who's who? And then he was like, I'll do what you want me to do, but I just need to know who it is. And it's like, who is who it is? That's who we want you to do it to. We have to pull out of who? Pull out? Who? Where? Yes, because we believe that who is dangerous. Who is dangerous? Yes, who is dangerous? Where is who? Well, sir, who's all over the world? Who is dangerous all over the world? Yes, that's why we have to pull out of who. I'm not in who, by the way. I'm just standing here. We're just gonna put it on a piece of paper and we need you to sign it. All right. And this is my main thing when it comes to pulling out of the World Health Organization, is that a lot of people take for granted things that are functioning in their life. Things are either good, you expect to be good, and things that are working, you're just like, yeah, it works because it's supposed to work, right? But sometimes we don't ask enough questions on how a working thing got to the way it was. And there hasn't been enough time in between when it didn't work and now for us to remember when it didn't work. Because if we lose access to the World Health Organization, it hurts the World Health Organization by a lot, but it also hurts us. Because then we lose access to their labs, to their data. Most of what happens and the way that cures and vaccines come about quickly is because all these countries are able to share information, which all sort of help us leapfrog over the last breakthrough that another country had. And because it's not a race, it's just shared information. It's just a group project. And our pharmaceutical companies, by the way, also need the World Health Organization to just stay on top of things, right? And I'm no fan of pharmaceutical companies. I'm just saying I'm a fan of people who are sick getting help, right? And so my thing is, if you pull out of the World Health Organization, as good as the doctors that we have in the U.S. are, or at least can be, it won't be long before we're all just sort of WebMD. You know, it won't be long before a new thing, take something like COVID, right? No matter what you believe about the origins of COVID, you understand that something started up in China. And then because of the World Health Organization, everyone was able to talk about it, do testing. They were able to share findings. We were able to get to a vaccine pretty quickly, right? So now, let's say something comes out of another country. And we may know it's coming out of the other country from the news, but we don't actually know any breakthroughs because we're not sharing that data. And everyone has to start all over again every time they try to have a breakthrough. So now you'll just be a regular person walking up to other people like, hey, I'm just asking, just in general, just because I'm curious, but is anybody else like farting blue? No, me neither. No. That's crazy. I don't even know why I said that. That's just like crazy, but like it can happen. You know, I've been hearing on the news that it can't happen, and there's people whose whole bathrooms look like a Smurf died. Like it's just stuff can happen. You know, just curious. Yeah. And then maybe someone does get sick, and then that sickness starts to spread, and maybe it's not something that we're used to. It's a completely new thing. So now you have somebody being like, "Hey, is anybody else that was like not born double jointed, been acting double jointed, like just everything can go in every which way?" Because double joint people, they seem to not hurt when they do it, but I'm in a lot of pain. So if anyone has any ideas on what to do, I've been eating as much as I can to lower inflammation, but I'm still got my head spinning all the way around when I fall asleep. And then you won't be able to distinguish certain things. There are things that are not related, that we know through science are like not related, even though they're similar, right? You'll be able to know if you have a new thing or if you have a regular version of an old thing. Just walking up to somebody like, hey, look, I'm not trying to get the word out like that. I'm just curious if you've ever heard of this. Do you sleepwalk? Oh, you sleepwalk too? Oh, great. Do you ever sleepwalk and just wake up with a knife every night? Like, does that, just me? Okay. We'll have to look into it. This dude also signed an executive order, the one they promised to, delaying the TikTok ban. But while he was talking about it, after he signed it, he was basically saying like, oh yeah, the U.S. should own some part of it, maybe 50%, maybe more, who knows. And it's hard to tell when Trump talks about what the government should do, if he means the government should own it or he should own it. Because I'm not gonna lie, this TikTok thing is the most mob boss thing I've ever seen. It's the most like, oh, you like your little thing, like, okay, maybe I own some of it. Maybe I own the whole thing. How about that? How about you get out of here? All right, it's mine now. One of the pettiest things that Trump did was he used an executive order to take back John Bolton's security detail. Now, I don't like John Bolton. I'm not like crying for John Bolton or anything. And if you know John Bolton, you'll know who I'm talking about. He looked like a Scooby-Doo villain. John Bolton got the mustache of somebody who has retired from tying women to train tracks. All right. This dude one of my favorite John Bolton memories was one time he was on, I think it had to be Fox News, he was on, and for some reason, they must have been trying to kill time or something, they put John Bolton, now he was old back then, so this is old, but he was still old when this happened. They put this old man on a hoverboard. And it was as great as you could imagine. They literally try and explain to him what to do on the hoverboard while he's on the hoverboard, which is the worst time to tell somebody how to operate a hoverboard. Don't let them get on and then be like, okay, now subtly. And so then this man, not knowing what to do, sort of moves his hips a little bit, and he just starts spinning. And you can go back and watch the clip. This man is screaming, ah, ah! But Trump took back his security detail, and it was just to be petty. It's just because he doesn't like John Bolton, and John Bolton doesn't like him, right? But it's one of the pettiest things I've seen from a government official, because all he's really doing, all Trump is really saying is like, hey, look, now that I'm back, I just want to make sure if you have any ops at all, that they have as little resistance as possible. Him pulling John Bolton's Secret Service detail is like if I uncalled 911 for somebody. Like they called 911 and I called right after, be like, hey, that last dude, he was just playing. Don't come. It's not a big deal. Don't come at all. I know he's like, oh, he has a knife or whatever, but don't come. He was just trolling. Even the executive order he signed renaming the Gulf of Mexico into the Gulf of America. This is one thing that has to stop. It has to stop immediately because we cannot make it this hard on these kids. I remember when I was a kid. I remember when I was a child in school and they told me that Pluto was not a planet, but it was, but it wasn't, but it was, but it wasn't, and it is, but it isn't. And I failed every test where they asked me what Pluto was. I was like, there was one time where it was a fill-in. You had to describe the planet and you had to talk about what gases and everything the planet was made of and why we couldn't live on that planet, why Earth was perfect to live on. And when we got to Pluto, I didn't know what to say anymore because it had been a planet and then it wasn't a planet and then it had been a planet and it even changed like astrological signs or something like that. And so I was like, you know what? It's up there. How about that? Changing the Gulf. And then you even had publications like The Guardian being like, we're still gonna call it the Gulf of Mexico. but we will call it Gulf of America for context in places where it seems fit, where the president is being quoted. I was like, it is or it isn't. No. Then you had Trump signing executive order. You had Trump pardoning everybody from January 6th. That's wild. You ever had somebody go to jail from your neighborhood? Maybe this is just too specific to me. But you ever had somebody go to jail from your neighborhood and you're like, I'm not a snitch, but thank God. Oh. There was this dude named LaDon, right? And I can say his name because he never gonna get out. But there was a dude I knew named LaDon, and I remember when he got locked up, I was like, oh no, don't. Like, you know what I mean? Because you wanna show that solidarity, but the police were taking him. I was like, oh, how dare you, 5-0. I can't stand 12. LaDon, no. Oh, but LaDon was wild. He's like a proper criminal. It's like, you know, because then his boys were wearing like free LaDon shirts, and I was just like, Anytime I saw one of them, I was like, oh no, I hope this doesn't have the support that I think it does. There was even one of his friends that wrote to the local, I think it was council person or something, trying to get him to look into it. And I'm not gonna lie, I low-key did like a John Bolton, and I also wrote to the local council. I was like, hey, he was just playing. LaDon need to be in there. Don't pay any attention to what he's saying. Like, he just kind of wilding right now. You know what it is? LaDon owe him $20, and he want the 20 back. He doesn't want him free. He should not be free. LaDon a bad person. LaDon was a bona fide monster. So now imagine LaDon go to jail. The hood is free. I've never, you've seen like homecoming parties for people when they get out of jail. I've never seen a party for somebody who just got arrested. Like, the people who felt like we finally had liberation were having a whole cookout off of this dude's charges. And then his boys with the shirt came to the barbecue. I'm like, are you happy or not? But now imagine LaDon locked up. We can finally rest easy. And then the president of the United States is like, actually, nah, LaDon, well, he not innocent, but I don't care. And now he's coming home. That's got to be what it feels like for some of these people. There were plenty of people, don't get me wrong, there were plenty people that were up there, did January 6th. They felt like the election had been stolen. They were sure that they had proof. They wanted to hang the vice president. They came in there with all the smoke, ready for all the juice. And then they get to go home too. This has to have been a wild experience if you are a J6er, because you were there. Remember when they pooped on the desk? They let them leave that day. They pooped on the desk that day, and then they were like, get out of here. And they were like, you right. And then they left. And they were very willing to be on camera. There were people interviewing each other about what they were doing. It's like, hey, Patriot, what are you doing? Oh, I'm tearing up Nancy Pelosi's office right now in protest of the election being stolen. This is me, James Atwood. I just made up a name, but they were saying their full names. And there was one dude that I'm pretty sure was trolling because he was literally getting people to say their address, and that felt insane. Like, I've never had to say my address out loud to somebody I didn't know. And then police come. And they're like, hey, get out of here. And then people left. And you saw them leave. You saw them leave different parts of the rotunda, everything, with smirks on their faces. And then over the course of 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, started picking them up left and right. People started, hey, he was there. Oh, They're posting about it. It was on their social that they were there and what they did, right? Them pepper spraying, them throwing stuff at police, all that stuff. And then they start getting arrested. And they're like, what? But I thought, how could this be? How? And then they were sitting in jail. And then, before Trump left, they were like, surely he'll pardon us. And he was like, I'll see y'all in a bit. You know? Because there was a lot of like misunderstandings about who we could pardon and who we couldn't and when people were charged and all this stuff like that. And then he becomes president again. This dude is now president again. And then he pardons them. And woof. Normally, I'm used to seeing a lot of people get out of jail through like innocence projects and stuff like that. People who did not do something. And then they're like, I never thought anyone would believe me. I thought I was going to sit in jail and now I'm free. And they're nothing but grateful. They get out, they're hugging their families, they're crying and stuff. And that has not been the case with the J6. Everybody that got let out is very angry. They're so angry, and a lot of them have already tweeted, I'm buying a gun. And it's like, why would you tell anybody that? You were already caught on camera doing the thing, and now you're like, and now that I'm out, I've got a gun. Okay, LaDon. Like, it's crazy too, because this dude signed that executive order for Doge, for the Department of Government Efficiency, that Elon is supposed to run. Which Elon's also had a week. Because Elon was supposed to run Doge, and he was supposed to really like get in there of what the budgets were, of who everyone was and everything, and he was going to reshape government in the image that he saw best fit him, his businesses, and his worldview, right? And then, I don't know how he did it, but he already like did something that Trump didn't like.
Of course he did.
Like it happened quickly because this dude was supposed to have an office that was near the Oval Office, right? And then one of Trump's, I think a cabinet member, but maybe it's an aide. I can't remember who it was, but they told Elon outright. They were like, "Hey, you're not gonna be around here." And in fact, you're not gonna talk to the president. You're gonna talk to me. Which is wild. Now, don't get me wrong. That person is also like a huge MAGA Trump Republican. But still, the fact that they felt the need to wedge themselves between Trump and Elon already speaks volumes. You know, because Elon, was standing behind the presidential seal. And this is how you know that a lot of people are truly out of their minds. This dude did a Nazi salute that we then debated if it was a Nazi salute for like every day after, including the day of. And I don't know if you should be allowed to talk if you can't believe your eyes. Do you know what I mean? Like, there are people that were like, that was not a Nazi salute. He was throwing his heart out to the crowd. I'm like, well, he has a weird pitch. You know what I mean? I always throw my heart like this. And he did it twice to make sure you knew what it was. Which is pretty wild. One thing that I like about Elon, which is not many things, is that he always manages to quickly make the people that take up for him look super stupid. Like, really dumb. Because so many people had so many different things. They came to his defense. It was several things at once. It was like, guys, no, that was not a Nazi salute, okay? It was a Roman salute. I'm like, all right, you ever split a hair before? Apparently you don't know what that looks like. No, it wasn't a Roman salute. He has Asperger's. I know a lot of people with Asperger's. I know a lot of people that are on the spectrum. I know a lot of people with, different types of autism on different parts of the spectrum. And when I've hung out with them, and they've needed to point
or they want to show me affection. You know what they never did? Anything that looked like that. It's pretty crazy. It's like 100% fundamentally insane that people would then, I don't know. Maybe there's some law I don't know about where if you are a news publication and you say someone did a Nazi salute and they didn't actually do a Nazi salute, that they'll like sue you into oblivion and you just won't exist anymore. But I feel like when you see it, you can say it. And the fact that so many notable publications were like, he did a thing that appeared to be, none of us have ever got the leeway that Eli got that day. If there was a video of me stealing out of a store, the headline would not read, Josh Johnson is holding something that appears to not be his in the form of a Best Buy electronic. You see how that works? You see how when you see something, you can say exactly what it is and the world won't shatter? I do think genuinely that if people call out what they saw, they might feel the need to do something about it. So rather than do any of that, let's sidestep it and just be like, look, maybe it would, but I don't know. Who knows? These do. Like, in what world do you not know? You saw it. And you know how you know you saw it? Because Nazis saw it. And you know who was excited about it? Was Nazis. They were very excited. And if they think they saw it, then what are you doing now? If they're very sure of what it was, what do you look like being so unsure? No, it was a Roman salute. No, he has Asperger's. No, he's just awkward and he gets excited. I'm awkward. I got a lot of problems. And you know what I've never done? But truly, that's like that's a thing that I watch happen. And then so many people are like, guys, he's anything but a Nazi. He's not a Nazi. He loves Jewish people. And then we pointed to tweets where people showed whole sick conspiracy theories against Jewish people and anti-Semitic rhetoric. And then he would comment under it, that's true. But somehow he's not a Nazi. And then for everyone who was still like on the fence or still hardcore, pro Elon, he's not a Nazi, y'all. He went ahead and did y'all a huge favor. He attended an AFD rally via satellite in Germany and told them, hey, you gotta let go of the past, y'all. We can't keep feeling bad about stuff that happens. The AFD, by the way, which is the most Naziest of the Nazi, he's like, no, you gotta be proud of your Germanness. These are all dog whistles, but you can hear it. You know, I hear you, dog. And then Trump signed this executive order that rolled back protections and acknowledgement of trans people, all right? And, I didn't do it. And the thing is, you know, if there's anything that I wish Trump would ban that had anything to do with gender, it would be gender reveals. They're getting genuinely dangerous. I watched a gender reveal where they had, because they're creative in the worst ways. Because then I watched this gender reveal where they had a blue plane and a pink plane, right? And both planes were flying at the couple, right? And then I guess whichever plane, I don't really know how it's supposed to work because both planes flying, so I don't know how we're gonna figure out what the baby is. You know what I mean? So then the pink plane veered off to the right and the blue plane kept straight. So I guess that meant it was a boy because they started celebrating, right? But they started celebrating without moving and the plane was still coming at them. And so it's not a big plane, but it's a little bigger than a toy plane, and it hit the husband in the face and chopped his head all up. Like he's alive, he's fine, but you could tell it hit him hard, and
He trying to still celebrate, but he's clearly concussed. He's 100% concussed, just... Oh. Didn't even put a hand out or anything. I don't know who is like winning with this thing. You know, maybe if you're a tech billionaire, you're doing very well because he's going to push through to like lower regulations so that you can make things as fast as possible, even if those things need some guardrails because they might be potentially dangerous, whatever. You know, and if you really hate other people, then yes, you're having a good week. But for Americans, like specifically for us, I don't know what these things do. You know? Like I don't know what rolling back what few protections there were for trans people does for me. I thought the election was about safety and eggs. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I thought it was like everyone was talking about eggs a lot. Like everybody was like really hitting those eggs. I didn't know eggs were everybody's favorite food. Like eggs. People weren't even talking about bread. They were talking specifically about eggs. I think a lot of people went to like Kroger or Walmart or something on the wrong day and they were like, hell no, eggs is my number one issue. I'm a one issue voter and eggs is that vote. And so I don't know what any of this has to do with eggs. But it doesn't seem like we're getting there. You know? Even the language of the executive order was weird. The language of the executive order was like, you have to treat and address people as the sex that they were assigned at conception, which is not how, that's not how anything works. If it's conception, when it happens, then there's no men. There would be no dudes. This is not a plan. Like this is terrifying. Don't be wrong. There are plenty of people who are scared, and there are plenty of people who don't know what to do next. And one thing I really want people to stop doing, and I'm not anybody's boss. You can do what you want. You can probably, whatever, screw me. But we're not like cooked. Don't do that thing. Don't give up immediately. Like there's a sort of rhetoric and an idea that like, oh, we're finished and this is it, and like there's nothing that can be done. It's like guys, no. But then you see people devastated, giving up very quickly. You know, oh man, we're ruined. We're so cooked. It's like I mean, if you believe that, then we are. Like if you earnestly believe that, then yes, absolutely, that's what cooked looks like, because cooked is done, and you like your steak raw. So, yeah, I mean, like day one we're cooked. That's also, that kind of made me furious. I'm not gonna lie. Not even like an armed resistance attacking people or something like that. Oh, we're cooked. It's like, you saw him with his pen. Like I'm saying genuinely. People, please, if you feel anything, then you should openly speak it. One of the reasons that these things spread, why negativity spreads, why like the general pessimism towards movements spread, is because people let their doubt reign over everything, all of their discussion, all of their thinking. It's like I'm not saying that I know exactly what to do about executive orders that he passed that I don't agree with. Those things are for the courts to hopefully fight, But I will say, for every person that I know that was affected by an executive order that he has, that I know is scared, I talk to that person. And I tell them, hey, I'm at least here. Now, I'm not the president, but I'm here for you, locally, right? That's how you build community. And that's how you keep people from being afraid. Because people don't know. They genuinely don't know that there are people that are willing to back them up. They have no idea, right? He signed an executive order that was supposed to take away birthright citizenship for people who were not already citizens, and to stop any confusion, it was going to be birthright citizenship starting now, right? Because if it was for all time, then like half of his cabinet, they wouldn't even know where to take them, put them. And then he started work on this thing that he'd been promising. And it was a thing that people didn't really think he was going to do, of like mass deportations. And so far, these are the numbers so far as I know them. Once again, I'm willing to be like fact checked. If I'm wrong. But this is from what I've read and from what I know, this is basically what has happened. They did some ICE raids in places like Chicago, and there were some in Texas too, Arizona, and like plenty of like sanctuary cities. That's ones they were like targeting initially. I'm not sure why, because you would think in the red states that voted for this thing, they would want it first. Like that just seems like it's making nobody happy. And they rounded up some people and they went ahead and took off for Mexico. And so then they take off for Mexico. We did it. We raided. We got some people. Gonna drop them off at Mexico because these are Mexican illegal immigrants, right? And so then FAA comes on and they're like, hey, don't land here. And I do think that nobody really thought that part through. I don't think people really thought. And then even when they let them land, they were like, don't let them off the plane. Just turn around. And they were like, all right, okay. We will be back though. We'll be back with more, right? Because also I should be clear here that apparently from what I've read, just deporting these 80 people cost the taxpayer $700,000. So I do not know how we're gonna save any money. I don't know how this plan is gonna work. 80. There's supposedly 11 million undocumented immigrants in the US, right? 11 million, so 3.3% of the population, right? And we started with 80. If I owed somebody $11 million, and I told them, hey, I ain't got all that right now, but I do have this 80, I'm getting my ass beat. That's crazy. 80 and $700,000. I'm not in government. I'm not acting like I know how to fix a situation. I'm not acting like I know what to do about where we're at. But I will say this. If I know I got to spend $700,000 to get 80, this is just me. I'm not telling anybody else to do it. This is just me. This is what I would do if it were me and I knew $700,000 for 80. I would just tell those 80 people, listen, I'm gonna break you off some. Start a new life somewhere else. You get 1/80th of 700,000, right? And come back in like 6 months, all right? Because that's one thing that you will not hear. As this whole thing builds out, you will not hear about people coming over illegally. They're going to act like it's not happening. They're going to act like it's all going one way. They're denying everything. They're denying all of these legal ways to become a citizen, legal ways to gain citizenship, legal ways to get a card or just to be able to work in the U.S. They canceled a lot of appointments for people who were doing the right thing, right? And so my thing is just use your logic and pay attention to what is not being said over the next few months to several years, because they're not going to want to admit that these people are coming in still, even while they're making these efforts, because it will make them look even more desperate, even less efficient, you know? Because they told us before the election all of these incredible stories about how migrants were coming in. They were like, and look, I don't even know how they're doing it, but in Honduras and Guatemala, they're disassembling themselves, mailing themselves here, and then reassembling themselves, and then walking around amongst us. But now that they've supposedly shut down the border, they want us to believe that all of these legal ways of entering have also just stopped. And that's not true. You're fighting a losing battle if it takes you $700,000 to send 80 people somewhere that says, hey, we're not You know what I mean? That's one of the craziest things too. Is a deeply ironic thing that they did all this, sent the people over, and then the other countries were like, "Hey, those are American immigrants." No, that's crazy. No, and I think a lot of it. I think a lot of the like tactics that have been taken and some of the logic that's been used on the news and everything is just is genuinely like fear based. It's to like rile you up. It's to make you feel afraid and everything. And you know, even in the executive orders, like 100 executive orders or so, and so many of them don't really say anything. They don't really do anything. You just sort of make a show of signing it. You know. Because I'll be honest with you, I saw some of the raids that were taking place and some of the statements that people made and how they're taking things that were normally off the table, they're putting them back on so they can come in your church, they can come in your school. People are scared to go to places that felt safe and everything. And I will say I don't know exactly what to do. I'm not acting like I have any answers. I just don't know how possibly this is the road, like this is the tack to take, you know? Like, people say things like, oh, they don't pay any taxes. It's like, don't they eat? Then didn't they pay the sales tax? Didn't they pay? And by the way, this not paying taxes thing, they get paid under the table by Americans, by the way. There's no job that they have that an American doesn't give them. And pay them under the table in cash. And probably pay them a little less than minimum wage. Probably pay them in even numbers. So what money could you possibly stand to gain? And I'm not saying the money doesn't exist, that it's not there, and that there shouldn't be a path to legal citizenship so that they can pay all the taxes that we all pay. I'm just saying that, like, are they each owing more than like $700,000 when you put 80 of them together? I don't know.